Hello everybody and welcome to another Mythology Monday with me, your host, Alice! Today we are going to get a little bit more historical with our Mythology Monday because we're going to talk about magical places. And now while literature is filled with magical places, and that's kind of the entire point of fiction and fantasy and that, is to create these magical places that are amazing and that. Today we are going to talk about the magical places in our world and things that were said to have had magical properties or, that still do have magical properties in a way, and depending on how you define a magical property, right? So we'll start by talking about the magical places in the world of Torian. So here's my map of Torian, isn't it pretty? Now in Torian, as you can see here, there are lots of kingdoms, including the southern kingdoms. Then we have Warren, we have Dayton, we have the Betruger, Morlock's Castle, and over here we have the Forbidden Lands. Now in Torian, the Forbidden Lands is where the sorcerers live. And what is unique about this place is that there are actually 10 territories in this island land where each of the 10 sorcerer lines reside in a territory that is designed purposely for them. So you can see there's a ton of rocks here. This would be the line of Myre, where they deal with earth and rocks, whereas on the top here, one of the very tree-filled areas is where the Celtics and the Tiere live, so the ones that handle plants and animals, because clearly you need a lot of vegetation if you have a lot of animals running around. The more beachy part down here would be where Poseidon would be, especially with the docks for trading and things like that. Poseidon is the line that deals with water, so theirs is more of a beach property as opposed to being in the central area and that. So it's a really fantastical place because all 10 of the lines end up touching this, which is the central castle, where the head, which is essentially their king, resides with their family. And so there is a secret room in this castle that there are 10 doors on the outside of the castle that lead into what is essentially the throne room. And you can only enter the castle from those doors, because that way there are certain areas of the castle which are open to all of the other sorcerers in the realm, but there's also parts that are blocked off, kind of like a sanctuary for the head and his family, so that other sorcerers cannot go in there unless they're invited by the family or the head in that. So the fun thing is that their throne room is essentially a giant circle that has a door all the way around, and that is how you enter when there are meetings or anything like that where the sorcerers are called together, is you enter that door from your realm or your territory and you end up in the throne room of the castle. And when you leave, you exit through the door, which is the color and has the engraving of your line on it, and then you leave and you're back out in your territory again. So I thought that was a pretty fun concept, and it's a way that I make the world a little bit more magical. And now we're going to talk about some places in our world, not my beautiful world, but in our world that are said to have magic or powerful properties. So the first one I always think of when I think of magical locations is Stonehenge. This is that amazing circle of rocks, that's in, I think it's England, Ireland, one of those places. And it's just amazing. And it's said to have all these like druid historical properties in that to it. And it also has it's on ley lines, which make it a little bit more interesting. The ley lines are the idea that these are ancient sacred sites that were constructed thousands of years ago and actually are aligned and line up with these lines to hit one another. So they go through one to the other ones and that. So I always found ley lines kind of interesting. Another one is Easter Island, where they have those fantastic face statues. I just think they're fun. There's also Benevento City. Probably said it wrong. City in Italy, which is actually known as the City of Witches. So clearly, if you've got a place full of witches, this is going to be magical and full of magical properties. The same with Salem, Massachusetts, where all the witch trials took place. So that's another place that is said to be haunted or full of that kind of residual energy in that, which makes sense because if that much trauma happened there, some kind of energy is going to hang around back. There is an island called Chilo Island. It's about 500 miles south of Santiago, and it's known to be the Enchanted Island because it was said to be inhabited and ruled, again, by witches. And last but not least, and this is for my friend Amanda, and Amanda, you know which Amanda I'm talking about, New Orleans, with its mixture of West African spirits, Roman Catholic saints, and voodoo is a very, very happening place when you want to think about places that have a magical context to them that you can visit nowadays. It's one of those things that since I started with fantasy and that, I kind of want to visit more New Orleans now just to see where it all went down kind of thing. But yeah, so these are some of the places in our world that are known to be magical or have magical properties. Let me know in the comments what you think are the most magical places we have in the world, and define magical however you want to define it, whether it's said historically magic in that it's said to have done something amazing, or whether you just think it's gorgeous and should be considered magical for how it looks. Let me know in the comments. I'm dying to know, and you guys have a fabulous Monday. Bye.